Good evening, friends. It's Mary Ann Goldweber, spiritual teacher, professional medium, and owner of a Village Personal and Spiritual Development Center, coming to you live tonight from my video podcast called Mary Ann's House. So get your cuppa and your notebook and let's talk for a minute. I just wanted to fill you in on some things that are going on astrologically in the world and what's going on in my world here that you can join in on. So thanks for joining me. So today is the full moon. So this is a time of bringing your ideas into the physical world. And so we want to take one step from concept to actuality. And that tells the universe that you're ready. So I was outside and it was so windy that I couldn't do my broadcast outside. So I'm here in the development center, which is cool too. But it's so nice to see you guys. Thanks for joining me. Hi, Sue. So let's talk about that full moon. So the full moon is going to be active for like about 3 days. And this is a time of action. It's a time of bringing your ideas into the physical world. And tonight's topic I wanted to talk about is signs and how sometimes obstacles are disguised as opportunities from the universe. So let's talk about signs and symbols and how the universe gets a message to all of us. So for me, it's different because I lucid dream. I've been doing this work for a very long time. I understand the symbolism and how the universe communicates. And so this is why I teach and do classes and, schedule private sessions with folks, because it gives you the specific tools that you need to unlock the ability to manifest in your life. And so it's really wonderful and comprehensive. It's about making you confident and independent spiritually so that you learn to trust yourself and that divine guidance that's coming to you. So one of the signs is dreams. Dreams are powerful. In fact, I had a very, very powerful dream today that really helps us holistically to work through what's going on in our everyday life, and then offers us spiritual understanding and insight through the symbolism in the dream. So I have a dream class that I do once a month. It's on a Tuesday night, and it's virtual. You can attend in person, but the class itself is virtual because I have clients all over the country. So it's really important to understand that dreams are not just some movie you get when you eat pizza, okay? Dreams are very powerful, but we have to kind of learn how to unpack them and understand the symbolism contained in them that's specific for you, okay? So the symbolism in your dreams, even though the symbolism is kind of the same, it really depends on, what we're looking at. So once you understand the symbolism and you understand that that's how the universe communicates in this human world, it doesn't all come in your head. It comes outside you. And sometimes it comes in dream time because we all have that ability to connect with the other side through dreams. So this is why I'm always trying to clear up the static and help empower you spiritually so that you learn to trust your own divine guidance and know that you're always being guided, always being helped. And we have this entire stage crew of things on the other side that are rooting for you. Okay? So that's the topic for tonight. So sometimes, we'll have a thought pop in our head. So just so you know, that the thought popping in your head, okay, using that word or that phrase actually is a communication from the other side. So the challenge is acting on it. Okay, so if I pop in your head repeatedly now, okay, it'll pop in, pop in, pop in. That's the universe going, maybe you should call Mary Ann. Okay? And when you do, it's all about divine timing. Okay, so there's human time and then there's divine time. There's human rules and then there's divine rules. So what happens spiritually defies what we see, the man-made stuff going on in our everyday world. And so sometimes as we're going down the road, you got to think of the other side like GPS, okay? Sometimes we're connected and sometimes we're not. Sometimes the signal is weak and sometimes it's very strong. And this is why when we practice building this ability to be still and present, some people call it meditation. You can label it whatever you want. I call it the stillness. So learning how to be still mentally, physically, and emotionally allows for us to really listen with our inner knowing to that popping in your head or divine knowing that goes, go left, go right, don't do that. And so that is how the other side communicates to everyone. Okay. Now I'm hyper developed and I can do this at will. Okay. And I do that. That's what I do in sessions is I'm kind of like the operator who channels that information in telepathic information and visions into words for you. So it's like being a translator. Okay. And it's very specific to you. This is why being in the groups is fun and nice, to, kind of a get to know, and it keeps it pretty light and benign. But having a one-on-one session is a spiritual game plan for you specifically, where you're at now, what you have going on in your life. And again, they're trying to get your attention. And so sometimes they set up obstacles, okay? So, we want what we want when we want it. And we think that minimal effort is going to create maximum return. Okay, and sometimes we're not headed in the right direction because we want what we want is in our time, in our way, and the way we expect it to show up. But that's not how the universe works. Okay, they're tricky like that. So sometimes what you want is not in the direction you're going. Sometimes you need to kind of go around the block and go down another road because there's some clues or things along the way that are going to help you when you get to this destination. And sometimes the destination isn't what you thought. Okay. So think of it like GPS, and you're down on the ground and you can only see so much and you have a certain vision or perspective. And sometimes they set up obstacles or blocks in the road to get you to go in a different direction. So, funny story. One day Jared was he was actually heading somewhere, and his little voice said, go to the bank, go to the bank, go to the bank, which he had to go to the bank. But he's like, no, I'll do it later. And it was so insistent that he was like, okay. So he goes with it. Okay, here's the thing, guys. See, I've learned to just go with it because it's always getting me to the right place at the right time. And it's never that insistent normally. Okay, so it was interesting. So he goes to the bank and he walks in, and there is someone that was in there that he needed to see. Okay, they were in the bank too. And so he's not surprised, okay, because I don't get surprised anymore because this is how it works. So these diversions away from our to-do list, our schedule, our whatever, are sometimes helping you, have another experience. So we have to prioritize and not pack our schedules too full of these have-to-dos because the universe sometimes is sending you on a little bit of a detour so that you can, one, trust that they're working behind the scenes. Jared's like, just when you don't think you have faith or that this isn't happening, then there it is. There it is. And that's the God moment. That's the proof. Now, I don't need proof anymore, okay? I'm not even surprised by the synchronicity of how it works. Because this is, for me, it's like just another way of living, okay? So if my inner knowing is sending me on a detour, I'm very conscious of there's a reason, okay? And I'm paying very close attention to the signs, the symbols, the things along the way, the people I run into, or that different route is offering me some new perspective or awareness or sign or someone or something is going to appear that I needed to interchange with or just observe sometimes. And so, I could write a book just on that. But I want you to recognize that there are signs. There are things going on, but it's not a direct route. Okay? Because what we see and the bigger scope of what needs to happen, okay, is the part where we have to learn to trust that it's not always going to come in our time, in our way. And sometimes our efforts are being used, we're working harder, not smarter. And we have this GPS that is trying to guide us. But to be honest with you guys, when we're emotional or we've got, things that we're working through or we don't trust ourselves and we lack confidence or insecurity, fear makes up all kinds of limitations, and it tells you you can't, it tells you you're not good enough, whatever. It's paralyzing, Fear and insecurity are paralyzing. And so when we're more willing and we build this trusting relationship with our divinity, okay, then things go smoother. And we learn to be patient. You got to know when to hold them, when to fold them, when to walk away, when to run. And when you start trusting this inner guidance, okay, this GPS, it's always leading you to the next right thing. All we can do is the next right thing. So we have to stand in our integrity. We have to learn to communicate. We need to be observant. We need to be patient. And those are not necessarily qualities that we're taught as humans. So sometimes we're having to peel off some old misinformation that has taught us fear and chaos and drama, and that's distracting and it's exhaustive and it's not going to get you anywhere good. Okay, it'll get you places, okay, but you may not like where you end up. And then we got a whole nother thing to unpack to get back on the road, okay? So these diversions, fear and those things, are trying to keep you from going to this great thing. And so that fear comes up to block the way. And so learning how to discern the difference between being diverted and being distracted are two very different things. So this is what we do in coaching. This is what we do in sessions. And so when I tell you who's on your stage crew and who's helping you on the other side, you tend to trust that inner knowing more because now you know who it is, okay? It's your ancestors, it's your relatives, it's people who've taken the trip and seen the big picture. And so it's just super important that we learn to slow down and not operate from a place of fear, but for a place of faith. I know everything that is happening in our world has purpose. It's awakening people that would never have awakened any other way. And again, guys, it always has to get painful before people wake up and realize that we're the problem, okay? Whether that's in our own life or whether that's out here in the world. We have been complacent. We have been apathetic. And we have ignored some things. We've been distracted by consumerism, okay? That's like the dope boy, okay? Useless stuff. So what this is doing is it's having us kind of shake up out of our complacency and look at what is really of value in our life. What's really important to you? And those things that divide us, they're doing that intentionally. And so we have to come together. We have to simplify our life. We have to make room in our schedules. We have to work smarter, not harder. And if we have the spiritual perspective and start noticing the signs and learning how to be still and to trust, it's a process. It's a process. And there are systems and programs for the physical body, the emotional body, and the spiritual body so that they can all start working together and empower us, give us courage. Make us feel like, your wisdom is needed in this world. Learning how to trust the right people and be self-reliant and autonomous. I don't believe anything just because somebody told it to me, okay? In fact, I read the room. I read what they're saying, what they're doing. I mean, this is almost like breathing for me at this point. And so, like I said, I've been doing this a long time, and I've been in a lot of situations and settings. So my box is built of experience, and that's the wisdom. Wisdom comes from applied knowledge. And so when you've experienced it and you've already done it, there's very little to fear. And then we can work more effectively, and we're not coming from this place of panic, rush, or fear, okay? And so fear doesn't get anything done. It just makes things worse, So again, watching for the signs. So I had a very, very powerful dream last night. And it was interesting because it was two men who came to me in dream time who were my bosses. Okay, now I think, well, I know at least one of them's on the other side, and the other one should be like in his 80s or on the other side by now. But it was so funny because they were both mentors, but in two very different ways. One was kind and compassionate and very fatherly, and the other one was very cold and dismissive, and but he wasn't wrong, okay? But he was not kind about it, okay? And so they both came to me in this dream, which were offering me two different perspectives on this thing that was brought to my awareness in dream time. And so in the dream, it kind of lays it out in front of you so that you can see it outside yourself and really come to some new awarenesses that were very powerful, very, very powerful. In fact, I sat with this dream for most of the day, and it really helped me see, as we're navigating change, I'm changing, you're changing, the whole world is changing, and we have to learn how to evolve, how to adapt, and how to be more effective. And again, as we get older, things, we're constantly changing, we're constantly evolving. And even in this elder time of my life, the wisdom that I'm bringing to the table comes with, it came with a very high price, and so, I can offer you wisdom, but only when people ask. And then I share that, partnered with the message from the other side in the universe, to give you the tools so that you can apply that in your everyday life. That's what I'm here for. So anyway, so there's signs going on. There's all kinds of things going on, but we have to be okay with taking a detour or trusting that the GPS is getting you to the next right thing. And again, we're so willful and we're so petulant that we want to see it in our own time with very minimal effort, okay? So it's going to take effort. It takes practice, guys, to do some of these things. And again, we don't necessarily have places or fellowship or, leaders that you can trust. And so, it can be a lonely existence, but we do need other people. But we have to be very selective, again, about who and what we expose ourselves to. We are leaders in training. Your life has been training for the next leg of the journey. And we're constantly evolving, constantly learning. But very rarely do we really sit and unpack the symbolism, the messages, the awarenesses. What do we learn from that about ourselves? What do we learn about that from other people? And so we're constantly becoming. So we're in a huge transition in our world, and we're all asking ourselves, what's important to me? We had to sit with all our crap that we bought in COVID, okay? Because people were stuck in their house and they had no choice but to make peace with their families, their useless crap they've collected, and really started to really assess things in a different way. And so again, now that we're past some of that, we've gotten complacent again. It's back to normal. Okay, well, the world is shifting and it's not normal. Okay, we're finding out that normal is not necessarily good. Okay, and I know it makes people uncomfortable, but we're going to have to put our work boots on, and you're not alone. There are other folks out here who are doing really amazing things, who are bringing people together in solidarity in good ways, supportive ways, encouraging ways, and together, we're better. This is why I have the village. So join us. I have 2 channeling events every Friday night on the 20th. I believe it's the 20th and the 27th. And those are wonderful as a refresher, or if you've never been to me before, it's a really great opportunity to not only get your own message, but to see and hear all the other messages around you. It's so educational and it's so much fun because, guys, I'm funny, okay? And the universe is funny. You have to have a sense of humor. You have to learn how to laugh at yourself. Because we're all works in progress, okay? And like I always joke about, I said, if I had a native name, it would be Runs with Scissors, okay? I am spiritually feral, okay? And so, again, tempered with wisdom, that's a force, okay? And so join us for a channeling event or have a party of your own. Nothing's more interesting than to inspire your friends and family by bringing them here, because I tell them the things that you would love to tell them, okay? The universe talks to me, and I can say things to them that you can't, okay? And so, like the universe talks to me gently and like a child, okay? We don't beat people up for being ignorant of things, okay? They just don't know. There were times where I was very ignorant about a lot of things. But the willingness to recognize that we don't know and that we are ignorant, it begins the process of growing and evolving and healing. It's a beautiful thing. So there's signs going on around us all the time. So let's see who's here, and we'll have a little chat. So this Friday night, I have our pet channeling event, which is called Tales from the Other Side. And it's exclusively channeling our spiritual helpers that we call pets, okay? We learn all about what animals represent in this human reality. Their divinity, guys, okay? They come here to serve us as messengers with unconditional love and all kinds of things. And so when you come to a pet channeling event, I'll not only channel your pets who have crossed over to the other side, you will also learn a lot about their impact on our life. And I can also channel your living animals. Now, don't bring them here, okay? If you, I can channel them too, because all animals speak telepathically, okay? And that's my second language. So join us for Tales from the Other Side. And if you guys want to schedule time, okay, give me a call. You have to call me on the phone. In fact, I don't know what's going on with Messenger, but I can't send messages. They're not going through. Okay. Just so you guys know, everything's on a delay. They're keeping us, it's disruptive on purpose so we don't communicate. So I'm just letting you know that is not an effective way to reach me. If you want to get a hold of me, call me directly. Okay. My phone number is on my website. It's 216-324-2657. Or text me and I'll call you right back. Okay, or leave me a voicemail. Okay, that is the easiest way to book something with me. This back and forth with text, and half of them are getting through. There's a lot going on technologically in the world that's keeping us divided, okay, purposely. So you can't rely on it, all right? And so if you haven't talked to me, then chances are I might not have seen your message. I'm really good about it, but I have mail, okay? I've got 5 email addresses. I've got every platform, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, okay? And people send me random messages through those all the time, and they're like, I need a reading. And I go, well, call me, and here's the number. And then chirp, chirp, I don't hear from them again. So I just delete it, guys, okay? Because, again, I get hundreds of messages, okay, on all these platforms, and I cannot keep up with that. So if you really want what I've got, okay, and you want to book some time with me, call me, okay? And I'm telling you, you will leave so empowered. And again, if you have a friend or someone who's struggling with grief or something, okay, you know what a real nice gift is? Is a gift certificate. Okay, and give it to them, because sometimes people are afraid to ask for help when they're in a dark place. And that's what I do. Okay, I am an interfaith minister. Grief is my topic, and helping people through the healing process and connecting them sometimes when needed to other resources is very important in that process. Okay, so if you have a friend going through something, and feeling some kind of way, they're not always going to listen to you. Okay. So giving them a gift certificate gives them an opportunity to not have to worry about paying for it. Okay. And just so you know, all that money that you pay for gift certificates goes back into me keeping this place open and doing good works in the world. So anything you send me, that's where it goes, guys. Okay. I live very simply, and I've acquired and lost millions of dollars of things. And so at this point in my life, it's not about the stuff. It's about the people, and it's about leaving it better than I found it. So anyway, let's see who's here. Hey, Kayla. Hi, Laura. Distractions. Distractions are, there's a fine line between distractions and diversions. Okay. And so, yes, so being diverted to a new way, okay, that is absolutely true. I'm a wordsmith, by the way, guys. Okay, so I love etymology and the meaning of words. So, yeah, the words we use are another very powerful way to manifest. Okay, so we have to check how we're communicating, because very often people are very vague. My last video was about that. We talked about communication and how important it is, not only in this world, but to the universe. So anyway, hey, Nikki. Good to see you, friend. Hey, Susan. Guys, this thing scrolls funny. Hi, Suzanne. Hi, Sue. Boy, all these Sues here tonight. That's wonderful. Good to see you guys. Hey, Cynthia. Thanks for joining us, friend. You know, Cynthia sends out the cutest little morning messages. Okay, like I'm up, guys, believe it or not, sometimes at 4, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. And so Cynthia, she's usually up with the birds too. And she just sends the cutest little good morning messages with coffee. And, and it's like, it's just a great way to start my day. You know, I open Facebook sometimes and it's like trauma, and it's like, oh, for God's sake, I haven't even had my damn coffee yet. So anyway, hey, Chelsea, good to see you. Hey, Claire, thanks for joining me, friend. I'm telling you guys, I know you guys, okay? And I'll never out anybody because this work is sacred, okay? But I'm just telling you, some of these folks that are in here, okay, are proof positive that having a spiritual game plan in life changes absolutely everything in your physical reality for the good. Honest to God, it's amazing. And so anyway, I'm so grateful for you guys. Hey, Tina, thank you so much. Hey, Rebecca. Oh, you guys are so much fun. Thank you so much for following me. You know, if you guys ever get anything out of these videos and you want to feel like you want to throw, a couple bucks to the cause, just go on my Venmo. It's on my website, which is MarianneGoldweber.com. And if you want to throw me a couple bucks, it keeps the lights on. It keeps all these good things happening. Because again, you would not believe ministerially what people are going through. And there is work, guys, that I do not charge for. Okay. In fact, some of you guys have been recipients of that. So when you donate or buy a gift certificate, that gives me an opportunity to be able to do that work in very serious situations that people face. And that you can't even wrap your mind around. In fact, like I said, I've met some of you in your worst moment. So, that's what we're here to do. It does take a village. And that's the power of the work for me. So, hey, Cheryl. So glad you guys are here. Hey, Teresa. Yes, this moon is beautiful, isn't it? We're supposed to be able to see the aurora borealis tonight about 1 a.m. So I don't know if you got any night owls out there, but you might want to take a look at the sky and take some photos, and you might be able to see that. Hey, Kristen. Good evening. It's good to see you. And just so you guys know, when I'm done with these videos, I actually upload them to YouTube. I have a YouTube channel. Now, if you guys are tech savvy and you're on all these, now I'm not just on Facebook, guys, I'm on all of them. So if you go over to my TikTok, interact with my posts, okay, put a like or make a comment, because the more followers I have, then I can monetize those, okay? And so I think I need 1,000 followers on YouTube to monetize. And you need some crazy amount on TikTok, okay? But every time you guys interact with my posts, you give it a heart, make a comment, it changes my algorithm and exposes me to new people. So anyway, I also monetize my Instagram as well. So that one I'm already approved for. But so I can't monetize Facebook because they want you to pay to be verified, okay? And I'm sorry, I'm not wasting money with Mark Zuckerberg, okay? Just saying. So anyway, he's got enough of people's money. So anyway, so I love you guys. So news again, it's the full moon, time to create an action. You have 3 days on either side of the new moon, the full moon to do that. This Friday is Tales from the Other Side pet channeling event. Next Saturday are 2 public channeling events, the 20th and the 27th. So if you go to my website under events, you'll see those things. Now, guys, if you want to have your own party, call me. It is so much fun. I have seating for 12 people. You can bring your own food. I usually supply the soft drinks. And so it's a wonderful time to really just spend some time with your ancestors and friends on the other side. Oh my God, are they funny? And I am going to be doing some tours, but again, I've got some things going on that require more of my attention. So I'd love to do these outside events, but I've got some events in here and things that we're doing that are really not affording me the availability to do those outside as well. So if you guys have any ideas or is there anything you need, give me a call. So Claire says, thanks for not letting people walk alone in the fear until they triumph. Oh, guys, all people really need is your time and your attention. It doesn't take a lot to be an encourager. Okay. And, the universe is cheering for you. I'm cheering for you. And when you come to a Moon Lodge or you come to our Serenity Sunday, you get inspired by other people, not just me, and where can we go where we meet kind, compassionate, spiritual badasses, that's kind of the group here. So, I would love for you to join us because it's very empowering and it's inspirational. And so, have an event, bring your friends. Nothing's more fun than watching other people get a message, okay, that you've been telling them for like their whole life, okay? And so it is so much fun. We laugh a lot, and it is serious too, okay? And it's emotional, okay? But, we can't change what we can't acknowledge. And so having it in that safe group, everybody's kind of getting subliminal messages too, so I'm not pointing right at them, telling them stuff. It's so much fun. And so, yeah, have a party and join me. So anyway, so that's what I got tonight. Signs. And sometimes our universal GPS is taking us off-roading it. Okay, we're taking us down a path less traveled. Sometimes those diversions are very important. Sometimes obstacles are really disguised as opportunities. Okay, so obstacles are not always to stop you. It's to get you to change direction. And when you trust that inner knowing and you just kind of go with it and do what it's told. So I don't know how many of you, so they keep telling, the gang you can't see standing here, says that, they're sending you a message to call me. Okay, so if I've been popping in your head, okay, that's your ancestors and relatives. Okay, just call me. Okay, because you'll find out why afterward. Okay, so again, we're not always sleeping, we're not always dreaming, we're not always hearing the message clearly for ourselves. So that's really what I do, is I clear up the static, give you the tools so that you can start, trusting your own knowing, and not rely on people like me for your answers. They are never going to tell you the answer. They will show you the blocks in the road. They will tell you that you're amazing and what your talents are and point you in the right direction. But whether we do it or not, that's between you and your ego, okay? So our ego is not always our amigo, okay? So, yeah, that's a whole nother convo for another podcast. So thank you for joining me tonight. Thank you for your support. If you do donate, let me tell you, it does go right out to wonderful, good things in this world. And so, again, you're helping someone in their worst moment, and I'm grateful. So if you want to really help your friends, they're not, like, again, as a mother, okay, people don't always listen to you, okay? And we're standing there going, I know I'm right. I'm not wrong often, okay? But, people don't necessarily want to hear it from you. They have to hear it. God sends another teacher. God sends another messenger. And we have to learn how to get out of the way and kind of just start aligning them with the things and people that, it might just resonate with. So buy a gift certificate, give it to a friend, or just say, hey, this is for the next person who needs a session. And I keep track of that. So thank you so much. Enjoy your evening. Keep the peace. Pray for our world. And show up. I need you as much as you need me. So enjoy the evening, and I hope you guys have wonderful dreams tonight. Write those down, and our classes are every Tuesday night. So sign up for that. Well, hey, David. Hi, Mary. It's good to see you guys. Hey, Karen. Yeah, guys, I would love for you to meet each other, too. And so we've got some cool things lined up. So I hope that you have a wonderful evening, and if there's anything else, just give me a call, 216-324-2657. You've got this. God loves you. The universe loves you. Your Uncle Bob thinks you're running with scissors. Okay? Anyway, own it. Love it. Bye.